Hi there, everybody. My name is Dave Burnett. I'm the president and CEO of AOK Marketing, and I'm here today to talk to you about one of the very important things that people often overlook about marketing, and that's development of a customer avatar. I don't want to get fancy with a name or anything. Basically, what it is a profile of somebody who is your ideal client. Not just a customer, one-off customer, but somebody who is a repeat customer down the road who will continue to come back year after year, time after time, and give you the most lifetime value as a revenue generation source, or somebody you actually want to help out with if you're thinking of it from an emotional perspective as opposed to strictly dollars and cents. So what I'm going to do today is start off at the very beginning, and with an avatar, a customer profile you're trying to develop, the ideal client profile, what you want to do is you want to start off with kind of putting yourself in the right frame of mind, where it could be, what is it that your customer would do that nobody else would do? That's one of the easy ways to try and figure out how to target them, where to target them, what sets them apart from other people who might look kind of like customers or clients, but who really aren't. So give yourself a phrase that's kind of, my ideal customer would blank, but nobody else would. So for example, my ideal customer would attend this conference, but nobody else would. Or my ideal customer would follow this particular person on social media, but nobody else would. Hopefully that kind of sets you up as a framework for something that we're trying to answer the question of, to be able to really narrow it down. So something that we need to do now is figure out what kind of targeting we can do on the different social networks and digital advertising media, and try and figure out exactly what and how and who they are. So starting off with, targeting buckets. So say, for example, you're working on Facebook or Google AdWords. There's different things that we can target in terms of demographics, in terms of psychographics, in terms of interests, and a bunch of different things. So where I want to start off with here is demographics. So the demographics could include things like age, gender, are they urban or rural, their political background, their profession, their income, and not only just their income, but also what their potential disposable income could be, marital status, do they have kids, what's their job title, what's their education level, and even something as simple as, do they have pets? So demographic information can give you an idea about this person. So they could be a male entrepreneur, not that I'm describing anybody I know here, but a male entrepreneur who's in his early 40s, who has 2 kids and is married and is based in Toronto and New York, so really trying to figure out the actual rural versus urban, and job title would be CEO, president, education. I've got a university degree. Those types of things. So being able to trying to target me, you may want to look at those specific things. Brands. So you can think to yourself, what kind of brands would this person wear? What clothing? What kind of food would they eat? Do they have jewelry on? Where can you target them from a retail perspective and online? Where would they actually spend some time with some online brands? And then to go one step further, not only kind of their age, demographics, and then their, the brands that they're interested in, but what are their interests and hobbies? What do they do in their spare time? Do they take the time to sit in front of the TV? If they are sitting in front of the TV, what do they watch? What kind of channels? If they're an older demographic, they're not going to be online on Facebook or Snapchat. So where and how can you reach those people? Do they have any particular niche interests? Are they really, if they're, again, going after an older person, are they into knitting or bridge, something like that? And then what about sports? Are they a huge hometown fan? Are they, so if you know where they live and they're a fan of a particular team, whether it's hockey or baseball or soccer or football, whatever it may be, is that one way that you could reach out to them? And what about music? Are they up to date in the top 40? Do they prefer alternative rock? Are they more, in the 50s and 60s type of music? They're a really big fan of ABBA, whatever it may be. And then entertainment. How do they consume their entertainment? Not only online, but also, do they go to movies? Do they go to the theater? Do they, go to the opera? Who are you targeting, and how are you targeting them, and what are their interests and hobbies is a great thing. Do they do construction? Whatever. And then think to yourself, what do they consume? And the consuming can be something as simple as shows or movies, but also if they are digitally savvy, what do they consume on YouTube or Facebook? Who do they follow? Are they following artists? Are they following thought leaders or gurus? Are they following particular celebrities? And you can even narrow it down to channels. So in terms of what do they consume and where are they online? And then finally, where do they get their sources of info? Where is that information coming from? Is it coming from books? Is it coming from magazines or even print newspapers? Is it coming from blogs, or is it coming from particular channels like we'd mentioned? Or is it a conference or a particular guru, or even audio? Are they getting everything through Audible or some different audiobooks? So once you take all of this information, so you take their demographic information, you take the different tools you can use like Facebook or Google, you try to figure out what brands they like, you try to figure out what their interests and hobbies are, what they consume, and then where they get their information. And if you can actually sit down, and the best way to get all this information is to ask your customers and clients. But if they don't fit into neat little buckets, all of them, then you may have to figure out different buckets of people. So say, for example, it's a promotional products company. A promotional products company would have several different demographics. They would have somebody, say, for example, who is a marketing assistant, where they have to do giveaways for their salespeople to leave behind at sales meetings. They would also have event planners, where they would have a booth and a table full of stuff that they would give away at the show. It could also be a direct mail company who are actually sending things out to try and get a direct response. There could be a number of different things. It could be an individual consumer who's got a team who are trying to put together some jerseys for their kids' softball tournament. There's a lot of different people who would have different specific needs, and you would be able to target them in specific ways. And the whole point of all of this is to figure out how to target and then get that traffic in the door. So once you have the people and you know what type of person that is and what their interests may be, trying to think about what their goals and values and a few other things that we'll get into down the road, but really developing that initial avatar or ideal customer profile is something that's very, very important. So hopefully that was a little bit helpful. And down below, there will be a download for you to download kind of a worksheet so that you can actually take a look at all the different things that we just talked about and build your own ideal customer profile. Thanks so much. I wish you all the best. And again, my name is Dave Burnett with AOK Marketing.